Hello, everybody, to the start of the Nitro Cup Series playoffs for the 10th season of Nitro. We start the playoffs at Bristol Motor Speedway. Yeah, I was very worried coming into this race. Bristol, historically, since Nascar E4, has been one of my worst tracks. I've just never been able to get a good handle of it. But tonight's race is 250 laps. The stages were 60 laps, and 130 laps end the race. So, yeah, I've historically struggled here, but I actually put some practice in to try to figure some stuff out about this track, and hopefully the practice comes to fruition, and like, we have a good run. And I surprisingly qualified P4. Usually I'm terrible at qualifying no matter where we go, and usually outside the top 10 to start, but that was a good sign to start the race, but obviously it was going to be close quarters, battling all race long, and almost decided to go 3 wide on the first lap, but a snake bite there got on the wall a little bit there, and I decided to try to go on the inside and go into turn 1 and 2 here on the second lap, and we were able to clear the 47 of snakebite on the exit and move into P3 on the start, which was very good. But lap 6 here, and you can see the gaps were the same, but we had a caution, so pretty good start to the race. We all came to pit, made some adjustments, and I went to P5 due to the choose cone, but the 95 does not get a good restart. Combat, his name is Connor. Didn't get the best restart, and right here I'm just trying to get a single file, and then kind of slid down a bit, but able to fall down to P4. But the problem is I let someone get on my outside, but a combat pushes Gary up in the wall, and then I'm trying to get a run on the bottom off turn 4, but just couldn't get the run off. But yeah, it was intense, especially on these short runs when everyone's close together and little contacts like that and stuff. So lap 11, and you can see Mahu trying to get a run on me here, and not much happens. So here on lap 15, just riding around at this point, single file. Now I go to the bottom, and then I get a huge run through the middle. And this is going to be a theme of the night, is I decided to run the bottom a lot of this race. Like, this line where I'm running is where I ran most of the race, and was very fast. And honestly, the entire field was just confused, and like, obviously it's hard to do it when ooh yeah, I forgot about that. But a lot of the field was confused on how I was running the bottom so well, especially if I was alone, and I get shoved 3 wide by Bacon, shoves me in 3 wide, and we're 3 wide off turn 2, somehow not wrecking yet. And then we go into turn 3, no one gives, and kind of gives up a little bit there, but then Mahu has a leg moment and hits me down on the apron, and then I spin, and then snakebite hits me, and that's gonna bring out the caution. But yeah, people were surprised on how well I was running the bottom, and they just couldn't. Everyone was just confused on how I was running it so well, especially when there was no one around me. But yeah, on the restart on lap 25, there is about 35 left in the stage, so I was a little worried that I wasn't going to be able to make a lot of ground up in this stage. But just because it's just so hard to pass at Bristol. But we were able to get clear of Blake, so pretty much here in P11 at this point. And I still wasn't really sure how my car felt, because I've always used to be fine on like the short runs here, but it was the long runs where I really struggled here at Bristol. But got on the wall there, and Blake had nowhere to go. So, but look for a run. Matt Sheffy got on the wall, and then LCS is looking for a move on him, and then I move to the outside of LCS and try to show my nose out there, but he is able to clear. But I decided to go to the bottom. And then we're side by side off turn 2, and I get a nice run off the bottom there on off turn 2, and I'm able to eventually clear him in 3 and 4, I believe. And we are off into P10 now. And then we're going to jump up a few laps here. Lap 31, you can see I've been working Chaffee here for a couple laps. But at this point, I was like, I got to go. And I just go on for a full slide job and then just park it right in front of him. Not the cleanest move, but I felt like I kind of had to do it because I didn't want to get this pack to go get as far as head. And Chaffee did not appreciate that and just doored me. Somewhat warranted, I think. But me and him battle for a few more laps here, but I'm on the outside and able to pin him on the inside. So it takes me a few laps to actually get the position back, because he was driving in so hard, it was just hard to get it clear, and I wanted to go to the bottom here, but you can see he gets and nudges me up a little bit, and this was a hard fought battle, but I finally clear him here, and we're able to move along, and then we jump up to lap 41, and you can see I've ran down Bacon. His name's Cameron. He slides up in the middle a little bit, but he's gonna get a lot loose off turn 2 and slide down. And I'm surprised like I didn't die horrifically, because usually when that happens, you just get destroyed. And we're able to go into P8 at this point, and we have about 18 left in the stage. And we jump up to lap 52, and you can see we have moved up to P7. We have ran down the lead pack, and at this point, I was really surprised at how fast I was. Like, man, I feel really good at this point. And I was basically just running the bottom the entire time and making time. So, yeah, it was interesting. And then lap 53, kind of the 54 combat gets loose on the bottom, and then we're able to capitalize by going on his outside as he tries to collect the car, and we are able to clear him off turn 2. So we had now moved into P6, and all of a sudden we might be in this position to get some stage points. And then we jump up to the last lap of the stage. Down the backstretch, I'm going to look to the inside, but Mahu blocks the inside. I go to the outside, and Mahu kind of had a moment. I'm not really sure exactly what happened, but he had a moment, he said, and we were able to get P5 in the first stage, which is really nice, because every point matters in the playoffs. And we came out like P4 on the pit stop, but no one took the inside, so I was like, I'll take the inside. I've been liking the inside so far this race. And then we go into turn 1 on lap 64. This stage ends on lap 121, and yeah, we get a decent start. I get a little contact with Gary, but I was really loose. Get a nice run on the bottom, but just can't use all the track, so it's just hard to make stuff happen. So Mahu was driving, when me and Mahu were next to each other, he would be hitting me a lot. He drives it in a lot harder than I would. That's his driving style, I guess. But a little contact there with Andrew again, and then we were almost 3 wide going into the turn, and I was like, I was a little nervous at this point, and we were able to get a nice run off turn 2. But we were going to jump off the lap 71 because not much was happening, and Mahu was actually eventually be able to get to my inside and eventually make the pass here. And it was kind of weird at this point. I was like, man, I'm actually slower on the outside than the inside. I was able to make more time on the inside here, but jumping up to lap 77, you can see that we are with the lead pack still. Jonathan has been leading most, if not all, of this race at this point, and then Mahu tried to make a move on Andrew, but there wasn't really an opportunity there, and I got under Mahu, and I was able to get a nice run off turn 4 and make another nice run here off turn 2. And then he gets in the wall, and we are able to move into P4 at this point. On lap 78, going to lap 79. And lap 80, I'm trying to make a move on Andrew here on the inside. And then Gary finally gets a little contact to Jonathan, who is, in my opinion, kind of holding up the outside, and he didn't have the best short run car, to say the least. And then I get a nice run down past Andrew here as well, and trying to get the side by side with Jonathan, but he's able to clear me, and he kind of drives away for a little bit. But I finally get in my own groove here in lap 91 and start running him down. And as you can see, is that I go to the bottom, and people were trying to search down there with me at points, but they couldn't really figure it out like I had it. But lap 97, I decided, you know what, it's time to move. I give Jonathan the bumper a little bit. Tell him to speed it up, basically. Then we go to turn 1 and 2. I drive it in pretty hard, but Jonathan gets really high. And I get a nice run off turn 2. I get a little loose, and might have slapped him with the wall a little bit there. And then I push him up a little bit, and we are clear for second place at coming to lap 99 with 20 to go on the stage. You can see at lap 104, we gapped ourselves to Jonathan quite a bit here. And Gary is driven away at this point, but I was staying even with him, so I was like, okay, this is good. And you can see everyone's riding high, but I'm just been committed to the bottom pretty much all race, and I just drive myself into the wall there like a baboon, I guess. And at lap 105, coming to lap 106, I have a moment off turn 2. I get really loose and decide, you know what, just gotta concede these positions and not try to race it with the car getting unhappy there. And that's kind of the story of the end of the stage, is that my car started getting really, really loose, and I knew for stage 3 I was going to have to really, really tighten it up a lot here. And you can see that Jonathan and Andrew were able to drive away from me for the rest of the stage a little bit, but come home in the stage 2 in P4. And I'm actually going to show the choose cone here. So you can see I came out of the pits in 5th place, and 1, 2, 3, 4, all take the outside. I'm like, okay, I'll just go inside and gain all these spots. And I was very happy with that. And then here we are on the restart on lap 124 to 125. And I get a really good restart and stayed even with Gary. And I was like feeling pretty optimistic for my chances. And Gary goes really up high, but I actually kind of slammed him into the wall a little bit. But I think he got on the wall even before I hit him. So I'm not really too sure what to think about that. But all of a sudden, we find ourselves into the lead of the Bristol night race, about halfway through the race. So a long way to go. I tightened up the car a lot. I increased the wedge by like 0.7 or some ridiculous amount like that on this run because I knew we might go a long run here. But lap 128, you can see Gary kind of just sticking with me a little bit here, and you can see now he's moved to the bottom to see he was trying to see what I was finding down there because honestly people were just confused on how it was working. But lap 135, you can see Gary still trying to work the bottom. He was working all sorts of lanes, seeing what he could find, but he was trying to venture, but he mainly stayed on the outside for most of the race and for this part of the race as well. But he was hitting the wall a lot. I knew he was trying pretty hard to try to get by me, and Gary sends it on lap 153 at this point. He sent it in really hard in turn 1 there, so I was just trying to do the best job I could. I feel like at this point we were pretty even. I felt like in the very start of the run I was a little faster, but he is definitely getting faster as the run goes on. And then I won lap 168 to lap 169. Very nice. We had a double nice this race, so that's always good to see. But you can see I've started to move up because my car is starting to get loose, and if your car gets loose, the higher you run, the more manageable it gets generally. But lap 175, I was definitely way too loose at this point. You can see the car was stepping out there, and I knew this was going to be a tall order to hold Gary off at this point because my car was just getting so loose at this point. I had to increase the wedge more and more, but here we are on lap 178. I get a little loose, and Gary's able to stick in the gas and get on my outside, and then that was pretty much the end of that. So it took Gary about 50 laps, but he was able to finally pass me. And but as you can see at this point, me and Gary on like lap 185 here, you can see we have about a whole straightaway on the entire field at this point. Me and him drove away from everyone at this point. And lap 186, you can see I'm still sticking with him. So I was like, okay, I felt okay about it. But this was like lap 200, like just after lap 200, and the fuel light comes on. Gary takes a very conservative entrance to pit road. I drive it in much harder. Again, ton of time on them. So basically, we're coming in nose to tail into the pits. But I don't have the best stop, and Gary's able to get a nice gap because my pit crew did not have the best stop, and I felt like we were going to be a little better on the short run here. And you can see the gap's 1 second. And I was like, maybe we can gain that back because I felt like I was really strong on the short run compared to him. But we're going to jump to lap like 215 or something. I think next in here in a second. And lap 214. And you can see Gary is actually pulling away at this point. And I kind of knew my chances were over because the longer the run went, the worse my car was going to get. So the only way we could have really caught him at this point, it was a caution. And yeah, Gary had something this last run that I didn't have. I don't know if he made an adjustment or anything, but lap 230, you can see he is pulling quite a ways away. 3 seconds or so at this point. So, but coming to lap 249 here, not much was happening. I was kind of in my own little bubble, but Gary's pulling out to a 4-second lead, and Jonathan in 3rd place. And shout out to LCS with a very good run, his best career finish of P4 in this race. But lap 250, like right flag, Gary was able to pull away from me, and we're gonna come home and bring it home in 2nd place. And I was super happy with this result. I was so worried coming to this race. A top 5 would have felt like a win to me in this one, but I was able to somehow manage to get 2nd. I put some practice in. I gotta shout out my truck driver Kermit, and my truck driver's Kermit and Ice Cold Killa a little bit on this one for teaching me a little trick that I'm not gonna talk about in this, but they taught me something and it helped me out a lot for this race. So I appreciate their help, and a great result for me for P2 at Bristol. And congrats to Gary for the win. And yeah, and next week is going to be at Kansas, so that should be really fun too. I'm enjoying Kansas as well. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please feel free to like, follow, and subscribe and all that good stuff. And you can watch these Nitro races live on my Twitch channel Saturday nights. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye!